Hello and good evening, everybody. Cantina Social Hour. So great to be back. Happy Friday night. Happy February. Hey, Tom, how's it going? Good to have you on Cantina Social Hour. Hello to everybody in the chat.
Hello, everybody.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Tom, when was the last time you were on Social Hour?
Oh, it was a long time ago now. I missed out on a couple because I was busy or something like that.
Probably like November, I want to say.
Maybe even longer than that. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while. I've missed it. I've missed talking about toys. And my wife has certainly missed having me have someone else to talk to about toys.
Well, we're glad you're here. Thank you for being here. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I was trying to set it up so that my Sky Striker would be on display, but I'm just in the way of it, so it just doesn't show up. It's like right behind my head.
Mine should be here on Sunday.
Oh, you got it?
I did.
It's cool. It's really fun.
I'm excited. Yeah, I don't do G.I. Joe, but this is cool. This is a cool one. So.
It's really neat. I bought it with the intention of just selling it off, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to flip this thing. And I got it. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to open it up. I got a place on the shelf. That's what I've been working on
these
past couple of weeks that I've been on medical leave. You know, when I've been up to it, I've been working on getting my collection a little more organized. So the shelves, the shelves back here are nice and filled up. Everything got redone over here on this side too. So and on this side. So everything's looking good and I'm really excited.
Well, you're sounding good. You're sounding good. You're sounding healthy.
Yeah, thank you. So just in case anybody didn't know that is here in the chat with us, anybody that's watching, I have been on medical leave for the last few weeks because I did come down with a case of cancer. I guess that sounds kind of weird to phrase it that way. So I dealt with that and had surgery. It was dealt with, and now I'm good. I'm clear. I'm cancer free. I'm feeling great. Still recovering. Got a nice little scar right here, but in time it should fade a little bit more. But yeah, I'm feeling good. And social hours are scheduled. They're lined up from now until the end of March. So the bases are loaded. And Tom, you're the first person on in this renewed Cantina Social Hours. So we're really, really stoked to get this show on the road.
I'm really excited. As I said, I just need to vent about toys and yell about toys and spare my also cancer-free wife from having to hear me talk about it all the time. I'll talk to someone else about it. Yeah, she had cancer a number of years ago and got it taken care of, and it was a tumultuous time. But yeah, she's beaten it. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it definitely it leaves an effect, not necessarily a bad effect. I mean, there is a little bit of a silver lining that comes with like your mentality and your view on things, once you've dealt with it. So I'm sure that, your wife had similar experience with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. All
right. So let's see who's here with us. Let's see, obviously I'm here. This was done before we went live. LBT like your Dino, how's it going? Good to see you. Paul, welcome. How are you doing, Paul? Happy to hear the good news. Thank you. Appreciate that. Better Ray Bob. I hope everyone's weekend is getting off to a good start. We're doing good here. Thank you, Bob. We've got Pico B1. How you doing, friend? Thank you for joining us.
I always love that image of his.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm not certain.
Mobile Recluse is back. Very nice. Dodgson is in the house, of course. Dodgson says, almost missed it. Thank God for my notifications. We got 3D Builder Mocker. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Greetings from a German refugee in Panama.
Oh, cool.
Okay, I'm glad he didn't say Argentina. Just going to throw that in there.
Or Ukraine.
Or Ukraine.
I mean, just because then it would be like, oh, is the refugee thing like a
funny
joke?
No, I'm sure he's good. Justin, how's it going? Hello, great to see both of us. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Joseph is with us this evening. Dodgson, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Hollinet1, good to see you. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Jedi Gemini is in the house. Forces, thank you. I definitely feel that way right now. Mary, good to see you, Mary. As always, happy to have you here. We got Uncle Drayton with us. And we got Fedmatic with us. And we got Adam with us. Hey, Adam, good to see you.
Awesome.
All right, so Better Bob. Everyone is talking about their new Sky Strikers, and this week I got a new TIE Striker I found in the box for a great price. Very nice. I have that, and that's funny because I forgot. I didn't it didn't occur to me that those names are that similar. So that's cool.
Right. They had one of those down at one of our local shops, a place called Pop Fuzz down on very nearby where I live,
Yeah,
a while back. It's a cool ship. I'm really glad I got it when it came out.
for sure. So behind me, I have the here. Let's see if I can highlight it here. I have the wrong way. I got the dioramas done. I know it's not the best view of them here, but we got the 501st. I got a video coming on when is it coming? Monday or Tuesday for this diorama.
Oh, cool.
And then down here, we got the ATTE along with Phase 1 clone troopers and other vehicles. So had a lot of fun doing that over the last couple of weeks.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So
you hadn't had the ATT on display, right?
You know, I bought it in 2008 at Toys R Us Express for like $40.
Yep, that's how I got mine.
And I never got around to opening it until now. And it just because I didn't have room, I didn't have the right place. So what I did is I cleared off one of the shelves that had the what did it have on it? I don't even remember anymore. Oh, it had the Clone Wars micro series, the ARC Troopers, and I ended up moving that to another shelf, and now so I was able to get the ATT on there, and it's cool. It barely fits, like not even the cannon on top fits. I couldn't put it on there, but and it's a little wide, but it's awesome, and the electronics and everything is really cool, and it's just kind of one of those things like. I've had it for so long. It's just a shame I haven't been able to like fully enjoy it until now. But I'm glad that it's up now and the troops have a little home to go into. So
when I got back into collecting, that was one of the first things I got, and I waited likewise until it was half off, which is also why we don't get those big things anymore. But there's a photo out there of me holding it inside the Toys R Us with the biggest excited expression on my face. I was so excited for that. It was on display for years. There's not room for it now, but one day there will be. I'm absolutely crazy about the ATTE. I loved it.
Yeah.
I still love it. Yeah. So I was excited when I found out you got it and got it on display. That's great.
Yeah, it's a fun one for sure. And the turbo tank, like that's been up for a while, but I can't decide which I like better. Like I love both. I think the ATT is a little more iconic, I guess. But then the turbo tank, that is a 1970s design that they finally were able to use for the prequels. So they're both great. Both are great vehicles. I think you can't go wrong either way.
I didn't get the turbo tank, and in hindsight, obviously regret that now.
Yeah, I mean they're on eBay. I mean they're not cheap, but they're not super expensive either. I think I guess all things considered, they don't cost like what a Millennium Falcon or an AT costs. So there are some options. Yeah, so that's been nice for me to kind of reconnect with the collection because it gets out of hand when I don't have time to focus on my collection and my displays. It becomes chaos. Like boxes come in and I just put them aside and then put them aside, and it's like there's just never time, with work and school and everything else going on. It's just like there's never time. So finally, I've had time to get in there, and I did the Jurassic shelves this week, and they look really cool. They're over here on this side.
Oh, I can't wait to see pictures of those.
Yeah, I'll send you pictures of those too. And Jurassic is just crazy because they come out with things all the time, nonstop. So it's just a constant cycle of every several months putting things away and putting the newer stuff on there. But
I mean, you can see my guy up there, right? It's right there.
Your T-Rex?
That's my T-Rex. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of the best ones, and it's a good thing you have it.
I was stunned by it. That was the one I'd been waiting my whole life for, and when I saw it, I grabbed it back in September, I think, right?
Yeah.
I love it. It's great. All I can do to not buy a bunch more Jurassic stuff. I don't need it. I'm not going to do it. I promise. I'm not going to do it.
Nice. We've got HoloNet. The ATT is more iconic, but I like the turbo tank design more. I have an incomplete pre-owned one. We'll have to do. Yeah, and thankfully you can buy the parts on eBay. Like I've seen people just sell the parts. If you're missing something, you can build it up.
And it depends what you're missing on it, right? Like if you're missing just like a couple like little gun things, it's
it's a
six-legged walker. That's the stuff that
right. I think he said turbo tank. So like, yeah, I mean, it'd probably be just like the missiles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Jacob, how's it going? Good to see you. Pico B1 says Amazon is drip feeding me Micro Galaxy Squadron. So yeah, those are huge right now with a lot of collectors. Very popular line. I know personally quite a few people that are buying that. I've bought a couple, but I don't need to collect another line, so I've mostly ignored it as best I can.
But they're doing that. That's the thing that they did back in the 70s when they made the original Star Wars toy line, right? It's like, well, we got to shrink the figures down to a little thing that we can put into a small, affordable ship. And now the 3 3/4 ships are out of the price range. You make them even smaller. You can buy the Razor Crest, the $350 Razor Crest. You know, it's this big instead, and it costs you $40. That you can sell to kids.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I went to Target today for the first time in gosh, I don't know, 2 months, and they had
you get any of those turtles for me?
They didn't have the turtles. They did have though the Micro Galaxy Squadron Republic gunships. They had the some of the variants.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I have the regular one. I wanted the Crumb Bomber, but then I saw that they didn't retool it to have the longer doors. So then I was like, never mind.
Lena got me the 3 3/4 inch one of those for Christmas a number of years back. Likewise, it's not on display here now, but I absolutely love it. It's that's a great vehicle. That's a great vehicle.
Yeah. No, they're cool. They're really nice. And the little figurines and all, that's awesome. But it's just, you know, I'm already doing TVC and Black series and Jurassic, and I got Batman stuff, and I got, you know, I kind of started filling holes in my Indiana Jones collection. I know I told you about this recently. Nice.
I mean, yeah, I've got too many collections too.
That's the thing, is that, you know, I mean, I love Jurassic Park and I love Star Wars, but I think more than anything else, I'm just attracted to good toys, and, you know, toys that are creative and exciting and inventive and fun. And that's why I'm just like drawn to, I have so many things that I like, and, you know, I want to get them in hand and feel them and, you know, experience them for myself. So that's kind of where I have some weakness that I need to
throw
work
them
on.
from a window at children in the street while they're walking past you know, right? That's what Hot Wheels are fun for.
Yeah, done that before, so I may have to do that again. Yeah, Holonet says, don't we have too many lines? Yeah. I mean, hey, better too many than too little, I would say.
Is it? I don't know. There was a point that I just collected Star Wars, and then it was just going to be the 3 3/4 Star Wars.
I know. Now you do Masters of the Universe and TMNT. You do some Ghostbusters.
Yep.
And yeah, so I mean, I do those too. Well, I don't do Masters of the Universe, but I do Ghostbusters.
Masters of the Universe, there's the old vintage line to collect. Then there's 2 new modern lines that I'm collecting, the Masterverse tall ones, and then the Origins ones, which are just super articulated versions of the original ones. Like, why do I need these things? I don't know, but I need them. I have to have them.
Yeah. Justin makes a good point here, that he collected all the micro back in 90s because no beefcake figs from Power of the Force 2. Yeah, and those are cool too. I didn't have too many of those, but I had like the snow speeder, and I remember seeing them in the stores. Like they had, like, those were the two things at the time, was the Hasbro stuff, like Power of the Force 2, the 12-inch, I was gonna say 6-inch, the 12-inch collector series, and then micro machines like the Fleet. I don't even know what they were called. Action Fleet. I don't know.
I thought it was just micro machines at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Originally, yeah. Then there was like the Gloob things, were those micro machines? I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there was a whole bunch that are all.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff.
That's the way to play with ships. Get little ships and fly little ships around.
Joseph is asking, have you guys seen the Street Fighter figures made by Jada? I have not.
Oh yeah, I've seen some pictures of those. I'm not going to get into that, but they're because I'm not a fighting game fan. But Street Fighter 2 was my fighting game. Like, it was never Mortal Kombat. It was just original Street Fighter 2. I was crazy about that.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of those, and yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. Big Nerdy has a pre-order. Okay, so that's good to know for anybody that wants to order those. Go to Nerdzoic and pre-order them.
Oh, he's also got someone was I think it was Dodgson was mentioning he's excited about that Mandalorian Luke Skywalker. I think Big Nerdy's got that in stock. I think the email just came out about it.
Yeah, yeah. I got mine just shipped from Entertainment Earth because I ordered the case. Those just shipped like yesterday, so they should be here soon too. It's been a while since there's been a wave of TVC that's shipped. So
Yeah. I think I can count the number of Star Wars vintage collection or Black Series I purchased in the past year on I was going to say one hand, but I did buy 6 of the Bith guys, the singing guys, the Bith musicians. Because remember, Amazon had them on sale for $10 a couple months ago, so I
yeah, that's cool. I didn't get a deal like that, but I did get all 7 of them.
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be 7. I was just decided I was going to get 6, or maybe I'm getting 7 and there's 8. There's at least one more that I'm not going to get because 2 of them use the same instrument. And the likelihood of me ever getting these things out on display anyway is, I don't know. I'm trying to convince the local bar to display Star Wars toys there. You know.
That'd be cool. I do have them on display. They're not in view, but they are on display.
Cool. Post that on your Instagram.
I should, right? What am I doing? I don't post on Instagram enough.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm too busy on doing other stuff.
Having a life, being cool.
I know. I honestly, I'm probably just like on TikTok and stuff. Yeah, so interesting question here from Dodgson. So could be wrong, but I remembered you saying your favorite artist is Michael Jackson. Recently, they cast his nephew for the new biopic. Any thoughts? Yeah, he is my favorite musician like ever. I mean, I like a lot of musicians and all kinds of music, but he is my like absolute favorite ever since I was a little kid. And yeah, so that is interesting. And I mean, it's kind of hard when it comes to this topic because, like casting somebody like that is just like, you get into a lot of like messy stuff. So, I mean, I think that's probably the best option. Somebody that is related, sings similarly, looks somewhat, similar. So
is it too late to make they should cast Scarlett Johansson joke? Is that like several years back now and I'm really aging myself?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, sorry about that. Pretend I said that joke several years ago and it's funny.
Yeah, he is my favorite. I love when I was like, I think it started when I was like, well, my earliest memory was when I was like 2. I can remember back to being 2. I know it's weird, but I can.
Yep,
and they were playing Bad on the radio. It was like, that's the one. No, it was on TV. It was on MTV. That's when it had just come out. And my dad had me by the wrist and he was like swinging me around to it. It's my earliest memory. And then when I was like in 3rd grade, 2nd or 3rd grade, I started learning like all of his dances and memorizing like the whole like Thriller dance and Billie Jean and all that.
Awesome.
I can still do them. This New Year's, I was dancing to Billie Jean. So I can still do all those.
That's a lot of fun. Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo.
My one would be Madonna.
Nice. I love Madonna too. Joseph says Thriller was dope. Yep. Still, I would still contend that's the greatest album. Not just his, but just in general. Like it's perfect. Let's see what else. Dodgson. Oh, continuing the topic. Watched the interview on Oprah. He wanted African American to represent him. Yep, that is true. I did see that as well. So I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dodgson. Appreciate that. Pico B1 says, can't wait for the 7-pack of the band members. When is that shipping? I feel like I pre-ordered that like a long time ago. The TBC set.
Star Wars, you never know, right? Could come.
And that one was annoying because they made us pre-order those modal nodes individually, and then they came out shortly thereafter and said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to sell them all to you in one pack with all the instruments." I was like,
"Yeah, I didn't go in on those. I got that old. Remember the old tin that came with 5 of them?
Yep.
I've got that. I was like, that's good. I bought one of the new ones. I think I'm going to keep him carded for my future wall display, but otherwise, I'm good.
Yeah." I have that too, that tin set. It was cool for the time, but the figures got kind of sticky over the years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Bob says, I'm not a fan of the game, but that new Cal Kestis is great. Yeah. The first game the second game's not out yet, but the first game I really liked. I really liked it a lot.
I never played them.
Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah. It's a good game. And what I liked, one of the things I liked is you could have a teal color, a cyan colored lightsaber. So it's like teal.
Oh,
And
nice.
I always thought if lightsabers were a real thing, that would be my color, like
Uh-huh.
teal, like mix of green and blue. Because I like both colors. I like black better, but
Well, then,
um,
then you can't really do that. You have the dark saber for that,
the
and
dark saber and the
that's
dark
sort of a cheat.
sabers. Yeah,
That's
the
a
dark.
visual effect.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, Adam says, "You just never know what irresistible toys are around the next corner on the top of the lines you already collected. Just finally got the Diamond Slate Maximilian from the black hole. So cool."
That's the music in Black Hole, by the way. You zoom in on Maximilian's eyes and you see the terrified thing in there. It's a weird movie. I finished rewatching it somewhat recently. I loved it as a kid. I like Bob a lot. Bob is hilarious. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh gosh, you should watch it. It'll be a bit of a slog, but you
Have
should
you seen
absolutely
Plan
watch it.
9 from Outer Space?
No. I saw the
Yeah.
movie that was made about it. Ed Wood. I watched Ed Wood.
Yeah, it's skippable. But if you really need to see what a really bad movie looks like,
I've seen some bad movies.
I wonder if it's purposefully bad because it has like Bela Lugosi and like, a lot of classic like, famous like actors and stuff. So it's like, do they purposefully make it like this, like as a parody? And it doesn't make sense because there's monsters like that, like Dracula, but there's also like UFOs, and it's just a weird movie. I mean, it sounds like the kind of thing I would adore, honestly.
Oh, on paper, yeah.
Yeah, on paper.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you seen Ed Wood?
No.
Check that one out. It's sort of the behind the scenes dramatization of it. And I think it's based on some level of truth to it. I watched it once a long, long time ago, and I really liked it. It's a very charming story about the making of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Nice.
Tim Burton, and
Love
Johnny
anything
Depp.
Tim Burton. I love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you loved Wednesday. Good old Wednesday.
Oh yeah, I've watched it like 3 times.
To anyone here who's never seen The Black Hole, HoloNet 1, watch The Black Hole. I don't know if you'll thank me, but you'll certainly come away from it and say, well, that was a thing that I saw.
Yeah, it's funny, like the Tim Burton stuff. Like, I was having a conversation with my mom. Like, it was I guess like last year at some point, but she was like, I was telling her about stuff. She's like, "You're weird," and then I was talking about like okay, I was like, okay, well, look at the movies I watched when I was a kid, like Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, Batman Returns, Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
Those are all great movies.
Yeah, they're great,
Those don't
but
make you weird. Those make you full of classical knowledge of
to
awesome
older
stuff.
people. You're weird, but
yeah, those people are boring.
Yeah, true.
Has
Weird
anyone
is good. Normalize weird. Normalize weird.
Let me ask a quick question to you in the chat. Has anyone here seen the new horror movie Skinamarink? Anybody?
Not yet.
Anybody? No? Okay. I watched that and had very strong opinions on it, and then I watched it a second time, and my opinions changed to the better. But I bought a specific prop from it. But if no one's seen it, it won't make sense.
Let's see here. Pico B1 wants to know if we're digging The Bad Batch.
I actually just watched some of it earlier tonight. I watched the 3rd episode and the 7th episode. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, there's some episodes that are just like, whatever. But then there's some that are actually like pretty good. This week's was and last week's were really good episodes.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard. So I was trying to watch those ones. Yeah, I liked episode 7. 6 or 3 was pretty neat. That was the one with Commander Cody and Crosshair.
3 or 4, yeah.
Episode 3. Yeah.
And the one with Gunji.
I didn't watch that.
Not yet.
Didn't watch that.
That was pretty good.
It sure is gorgeous, and the soundtrack on it is at least on those episodes is a very eerie, creepy sort of thing that I really appreciate. Yeah,
right on.
it's beautiful to look at. Remember when they made Resistance?
Yes. Yawn.
I mean, just compare what the style and look of Bad Batch to.
Right. I mean, I did like Resistance for its like unique art, and it was very vibrant and colorful, and I dug that. But the story was kind of
Yeah.
it was kind of boring. Like that one where they go to wherever they went, and there was like those giant salacious crumbs. Remember, like
Oh no, really?
yeah, it was like they were Kowakian monkey lizards, but they weren't like little like salacious crumb. They were like the size. They were like 20 feet tall. They're big.
You're kidding me. Okay. If you find out which one that is, let me know. I will watch that. I only watched a handful of that show because it was not for me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'll
but
look for it.
that sounds really silly and fun.
It was silly.
And I can dig some silly and fun.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars and silliness, kind of works. So,
Mhm.
Plan 9 was not purposely bad; just came out that way. Ken, good to see you. Thank
What I
you
thought.
for hanging out with us this evening. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, it is it's an interesting movie for sure. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend checking it out at least once. And,
Yeah, no, I've got it. Absolutely got it.
yeah. Jedi Gemini, how's it going? Says Rebels is awesome.
I didn't love Rebels.
I some of it I loved. Some of it was. I mean, I like Clone Wars best still. As far as the animation goes, the Clone Wars to me is still like the best, but not even all the Clone Wars is like great either.
Oh yeah,
So especially those first couple seasons. But
yeah.
I mean, I liked a lot of Rebels, but Rebels like kind of really upended like the lore of Star Wars in a lot of ways. Like the world between worlds, the
Oh God,
Inquisitors, the Jedi that were still out there like Kanan, and like before that there wasn't really like we didn't really know other than like Luke and Obi-Wan, Ahsoka
yeah,
maybe, but
yeah. The I know that the even before the Disney acquisition and the expanded universe, there were all these other made up Jedi that had survived,
that's true.
and
Yeah.
then the Disney and there's a bunch of Jedi that survived because I grew up for over 20 years with it's Obi-Wan and it's Yoda, and that's it. Like I can believe that there might be others out there, but I don't really believe they're doing stuff in important empire fighting things. I think they, I mean, it's all fiction, right? So this is what it is, but it definitely doesn't sit with me. It's like it all feels very made up after the fact by other people. It's like, well, I want to have my own Jedi that's doing exciting adventures. Like, okay,
Right.
I loved Kanan though. I really liked him as a character.
I liked his lightsaber, the way that he would like take it apart and like put it together when he was going to use it. Like that was kind of
Yeah.
neat.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like his Kanan story was cool.
Yeah.
The wolf thing was a little weird, but just
yeah.
like the way he like lost his side and then how he went out, that was neat.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that struck me about Rebels, and it started happening pretty early on, was it would have a lot of very generic standard story beat stuff, like they're going on a mission to do a thing and they're fighting the stormtroopers or whatever. And then guest of the week, this week it's Lando. Remember Lando? Or now Princess Leia's there.
Mm-hmm.
And look, it's Mon Mothma. And she walks onto the screen and you stare and you pause to clap. And that's when I started to notice that storytelling device getting used a lot. And I felt like a lot of the times when you ask people what's their favorite Rebel stuff, they'll talk about like Twin Suns or the one where Ahsoka fights Darth Vader. And it's like, is Twin Suns a good episode? Like, I rewatched it recently. It's pretty dull. There's a point at the end of it that Obi-Wan fights an old Darth Maul, and that's cool. But like that doesn't have really anything to do with any of the characters from Rebels, and that's where it didn't land with me. But I know a lot of people absolutely love it. I've got a friend who's not even a hardcore Star Wars guy, and he recently went through the whole thing and he thought that was great. It's delightful. So, each their own.
Yeah, it's entertaining for sure. I think one of these days I'll go back and rewatch the whole thing. But yeah. Let's see here.
I loved Andor. Someone asked about Alex Martinez asked to be like Andor. I loved Andor. I thought that's one of the best TV series I've seen in a long time.
Andor was really good. I was surprised that it didn't get nominated for like any Emmy awards because it was like the writing, the acting, like or that it didn't win any anyway. Like I'm really surprised it didn't get anything.
Well,
it was really, it's Star Wars, that's why. But
yeah, but it was very, very good.
It was really good. That I haven't rewatched. I only watched it the first time, but I may one of these days.
Yeah, I watched most of it twice when it was airing. Haven't caught it again since then, but also I haven't watched Severance again since that came out. Did you guys see Severance?
Mm-mm.
That was Severance is a masterful TV series that all you sci-fi people should watch. It's really bizarre and really creepy and funny at the same time.
Right.
I'm with you, HoloNet One. I liked Solo and Rogue One. I didn't care for the sequel trilogy in the end.
It's all Star Wars. It's all good.
Yeah, it's easy for me to ignore now. The last one came out, and I was like, yeah, I don't like that. I'm just not going to watch these three anymore.
Right.
Easy.
So let's see. Do we want to see some toys?
Yes, let's see some toys. I haven't gotten any. What I got this week, I might show you, but let's see what you got, Victoria.
All right. Well, I know I showed this last time, but I'm still obsessed with it. But this, for those who weren't here last time, I know some people are probably shaking their heads, but I just can't get enough of this thing. So this is the Corbanth Graflex Supreme. It is cast off the original Graflex parts. And it's awesome. So it feels great. The blade comes out really easily, and it's a NeoPixel Profi lightsaber, so it's pretty realistic.
Yeah. Oh man.
This is the Luke Skywalker font from Empire.
That's so cool.
It is, and it has like 20 or something fonts on it, so you can change it like to Vader.
Something.
That's Rey.
Inside me has always been there.
Even though I didn't like the sequel trilogy, I loved Rey. Thought she was a lot of fun.
So it's it's still blue, but the sounds are different because in the when she used it sounded a little different. And it's got motion activated shut off. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it has a ton of fonts on it.
Lord Vader.
So, and it's got the smooth swing, so it's like, the sound is like instantaneous.
You should always be illuminated by Darth Vader's red lightsaber. It suits you.
Yeah, so it's got a bunch of different things on there.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Wow.
So.
I mean, looking at it on screen, it looks like a real darn lightsaber.
No, it's really cool. But basically, any character you can think of that has a lightsaber in Star Wars, for the most part, is on there. So, colors, sounds, music.
Even Ki-Adi-Mundi?
Not Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Oh, boo.
Yeah,
Ki-Adi-Mundi, the best
He's
Jedi.
not on there. Norris Kit Fisto. But it's got basically like all the main characters. So you've got some obscure ones like Fifth Brothers on there.
Oh,
Reva is on there.
Poor Fifth.
Ahsoka, the Darksaber. There's a bunch of stuff.
Wait,
on
you've
there.
got the Darksaber on there?
Yeah.
What's that look like?
The Darksaber. So let's see. Got to toggle until we get to it.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. I hate them.
No, this one's pretty cool, the Anakin. Because it does like the Geonosis, like gun stuff.
That's really fun. Oh, shoot, yeah. That's it getting shot by...
and it has Qui-Gon on here, too. He's like, Anakin, no.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
It is obvious that this contest cannot be decided by our knowledge of the Force.
Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
This party's over.
Oh, there's Mace. Mace is pretty cool.
Don't insult me.
Ventress.
I can bring you in warm,
Here we go.
or I can bring you in cold.
All right, so this is the dark saber.
Right. Oh, okay. It's just purple. Looks great, though. That's great.
Yeah, so that's what it sounds like.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
3 thumbs way up.
Yeah. So there's a couple people asking. So yeah, this is the Corbanth Graphic Supreme. I ordered it in June and it came in December, so it took a long ass time, but it's great. It was worth the wait.
Wait, you ordered it in June and you got it in December, and you consider that a long wait?
I mean, for a lightsaber for the price, yes. But it was worth every penny.
Can I introduce you to Super 7 Ultimates?
For
Or
what it is, yes.
The HasLab Sky Striker.
Well, this wasn't. This is a tier above that. So, let's see. This one's pretty cool. This is the Kylo font.
Oh yeah, cool.
I freaking love Kylo Ren.
I was about to say I miss Kylo Ren.
Me
I miss
too.
how much I really enjoyed Kylo Ren.
That's the next one I'm gonna get. Because this is the only NeoPixel saber I have, but I'm gonna get the There's another company that does a Kylo Ren. It's not as expensive as this one, and I'm totally gonna get that one next. That way, for Comic Con, I can go as Kylo Ren.
I got the one of the Black Series ones they came out with a number of years ago for free when a friend's roommate and her were moving, and she was just going to get rid of it. She'd gotten it with the Rey one. She was going to dress as Rey for a cosplay thing. She's like, I was just going to put this out on the street, so we've got it hanging up on the wall now. So
Right.
that was a big win for me. That's my only lightsaber, and theoretically the only one I'll ever own, unless I break down and buy Darth Sidious.
Sidious is cool. He has a nice hilt. Let's see what else is on here.
Jedi, prepare for death.
It's one of the Inquisitors. I don't remember which one.
At last we will have our revenge.
Darth
I'm
Maul.
sorry, I gotta say this, guys. Inquisitors are dumb. They suck. They
They
all
are
suck.
kind of dumb. Yeah.
They are blah. I don't like Inquisitors at all. I liked the first one in the first season of Rebels, and then Darth Buffy and Fifth Brother show up, and I was really excited for Darth Buffy, right?
Yeah.
And it's just nothing from these characters. Blah.
They are. Yeah. The concept of Inquisitors is kind of dumb, but whatever. It's part of Star Wars now, so
Yeah.
Got to try and like it for what it is, I guess.
Or just ignore it.
Don't think.
It's
Use your instincts.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Ahsoka Tano! Bo-Katan sent me.
This one's pretty cool. It's just white. There's some like weirdly weird ones on here too.
It's just Ben these days.
Obi-Wan,
Where is he?
Vader,
The Force will be with you. Ezra Bridger.
Kanan, Ezra. There's the Rebels, Ahsoka, which is kind of the same thing, honestly.
The pleasure's all mine.
Ventress,
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi. There's Leia's.
Rey Skywalker.
Here's
To
the
answer
other.
you, Alex, no, I didn't get the NECA Last Ronin figure. I got the Playmates one, the FX exclusive or whatever.
Here's Rey's yellow saber.
Oh, right. It was yellow in the last scene, right?
Yeah, but what's cool about it is it does light up like blue and green, like down here before it turns yellow.
Peak Obi-Wan. I'm on the fence on if I'm gonna watch it.
You can never escape me. I'm
What is
ready.
that?
It was from a video game. I forget what it is.
I let you live.
Star Killer.
Persistence in the Force is my ally.
That's Cal Kestis.
Second sister.
Here's the Ghostbusters one. This one is cool. This one is neat.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, that let me ask you, did you, I mean, just all the fun lighting that is for that, but did you get the Proton Pack?
I do have it. I haven't opened it yet.
Oh my God, you haven't opened it. I can't imagine not opening that. I would have opened that.
It came in like 2 days before I had surgery, so it's just yeah, but I will. I'll get to it.
That thing looked amazing. I wish
Going somewhere.
So yeah, it's like a plasma stream.
Yep. Yeah,
Plays the
pretty
song
neat.
too sometimes.
Pretty cool.
That's the thing, when you toggle through it, like sometimes it'll do certain fonts, but you won't hear them every time. Like, but then the next time you might hear them.
Oh, cool.
The Dark Lord Sorrow.
This is Lord of the Rings.
Oh wow.
So you can see the eye, it's like in the middle. It looks kind of strange.
Oh, okay, that's what's going on there.
Yeah, it's considered a flame saber, so it's like in real life, it looks like it's like on fire.
That's amazing.
It's kind of cool. When you shut it off, it's kind of got a neat like shut off thing too.
I'm glad I passed on the Proton Pack because I don't need it, but
Now this is pod racing.
Oh, this one's kind of cool. It's like the pod racer.
3D builder marker. I don't know anyone who's got Star Wars costumes. No.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Oh, this is a fun one.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
It's like this is the rainbow saber.
What's a rainbow saber? Oh, that's a rainbow saber.
Plays the Cantina music too sometimes.
It should play YMCA.
Yeah, I guess technically you can put whatever you want on there, but I haven't touched it. I just left it as it came.
Yeah.
But yeah, really cool option. I mean, I know Hasbro does like the Force effects, and Disney has the Legacy, but they're like nothing compared to this. This is like,
yeah, it's really incredibly cool. That thing is really incredibly cool.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. No, I really like. There's not a day that goes by that I can't not pick it up and like play with it a little bit. You know, just swing it around and whatever. It's really cool.
Yeah. Can I ask how much it was?
That one, I think it was like $650 or so, and then the blade was like another like $50.
Right.
But it was well worth the wait. I am going to do a review video on that one of these days.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's cool. I mean, the blade comes out super easily. You need to get a screwdriver and just kind of like move the set screw, and it comes right out, and then you can wear it on your belt. So,
God, yeah.
And yeah, and Corbanth, they do a good job. They're like probably like the premier, like, because there's a ton of companies that do these aftermarket sabers. And Corbanth is probably like the premier, like one of the premier companies anyway, that they make good stuff. Like it's like, you know, they'll help you out too. If you have a problem, you contact them and they'll help you. So
when I was a
good
kid,
service.
I had a toy lightsaber, but it was basically a flashlight with a long plastic tube. It wasn't an extending tube. It was just a long, crummy plastic tube.
You know, I had something like that too in the late 80s. I remember it, but I don't remember what it was exactly. I just remembered the saber.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like an old like Star Wars lightsaber or I don't know, but it was. I remember it lit up like a yellow, like a kind of like a yellowish color.
Yep. I think mine did too.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened to it.
Someone was asking what our feelings were on the vintage collection no pre-orders thing. I think it was Peak Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
You could get 20 eggs for that price. I'm happy to say the egg prices have returned to normal in my neck of the woods. I think they
Good.
got caught with their price gouging.
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I was watching a live stream with Chris from Bantha School and John from the Vintage Collection Facebook group and Tyler from SWTVC on Instagram. I think on Sunday they did that. And Chris made a good point that when you pre-order something, the retailer basically has an assurance that you're going to get it, right? That you're going to give them that money for that item. So sometimes and I know this is true of me too, when the pre-orders go up, I'm like, oh, pre-order, I get them all. And then I'm like, okay, that's done. Don't have to worry about it until it comes in. But then at that point you're like, oh shoot, like all, it ships and it's like, okay, there's $200, $100. And oh, I forgot I ordered it from that store too. There it comes. So,
Yep.
There is that thing of the stores not having that assurance when they don't put those pre-orders up.
Yep.
So that could long-term have some effect. I mean, me personally, I don't like the pre-orders being like a year before. Super cute. A few months before. And Mattel's actually, when Mattel does pre-orders, they actually do a pretty good job. They'll put them up like 2 months before and then they ship on time.
Yeah.
Hasbro is just a mystery. They'll put a pre-order up and it won't ship for 2 years, a year and a half.
It's nuts.
Right. Or in some cases, they'll get them earlier than they told you would. And then your budget's just kind of out the window because you weren't ready for them to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's pros and cons to pre-orders. I mean, personally, I think they need to figure some things out and then, go back to putting pre-orders up. But it's just too unpredictable. And I think that's one of the things that's really hurt, like, sales and collector morale is that, you just can't predict those pre-orders appropriately.
Yeah, I stopped pre-ordering any of the Star Wars stuff quite a while ago at this point. Like, finally, when Galen Erso and Antok Merrick were finally going to come in as the Black Series figures, it felt like it had been so long. Like, the movie came out like 8 years ago or something. I was like, I don't really care anymore, so I canceled them. When the Obi-Wan show came out, I pre-ordered a bunch of that stuff. I watched the show, realized I didn't care about most of what was going on in it, so I canceled all the pre-orders. And I think I think with Star Wars, it's biting it in the butt, not having these things available the week it comes out, so you can get excited and you can go and you buy it. Now I've got it. And then if you don't like it after that, well, then it's your problem. But now it's Hasbro's problem. They're leaving money on the table. But the pre-order thing, it just got to a point that it's so absurd that I just can't, no more. I'll wait for it to come out. Except for the Jabba the Hutt throne room. Sorry, Book of Boba Fett throne room. I pre-ordered the heck out of that.
Yeah, me too. So it's supposed to ship this fall. Yeah, at least that's what it said when it went for pre-order, but we'll see.
Probably, yeah. They're pretty on time with their HasLab stuff, and that was going to be a HasLab, I think, right? So,
yeah.
Like the Sky Striker came on time. I think the Sail Barge was maybe a month late.
It was barely late. It was pretty. I would say it was on time for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Proton Pack was basically on time. If not early, I think the Proton Pack actually shipped earlier than they said it was.
Yeah, and I think HoloNet 1, I think you're right that the Obi-Wan stuff actually did come out on time, at least most of it. But
yeah, the TVC wave hit within like 2 weeks of the show ending. So
right.
That's actually really good. I mean, that's not what it was during the prequels, but that's actually really good.
Yeah, it's just that I guess nobody wanted to buy any of it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Toys. I got so carried away with that lightsaber.
You did. You love that lightsaber.
I do.
I love seeing you happy with that lightsaber. Let's see more toys.
I know, it's great. So I've been trying to fill some holes in my collection.
Yep.
So this goes back to the Batman Return days, the Kenner days.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I never had this one as a kid. And I had I still have like my first Batman, and I had a bunch of the Batman Return stuff, but I never had shadowing Batman.
Nice.
And what's cool about it is it's more or less like a normal Batman.
Well, he's on a Silverhawk's body, right? He's got the
Yeah, so
Silverhawk?
he's got this mechanism in his arms, so like his arm just go like boom like that, and the cape goes up because it's attached to his wrists.
Yeah, that's what they did with the Silverhawks.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's where that mechanism comes from.
Yeah, and this was one of 2 variants for this line that was just a normal black suited Batman.
That's awesome. I love it.
Because of course they did a million other ones, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and some of them were actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna open this at some point. It's just like
gosh, how much did you pay for it?
I don't remember. $20. It wasn't that
Oh,
much.
okay, all right. So that's perfect.
It's not in great condition. Like it's messed up. If it were in mint, I would not open it. But
right.
I'm one of those weirdos who doesn't like people to touch my stuff. So
well,
I'll look for beat up like stuff if I want to open it because I'm just weird.
Only way to be one of the best ways to be absolutely certain you're getting all the stuff that comes with it.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else? This was something I actually just picked up today at Target. I don't know why. This is the epitome of an impulse buy because I don't even really buy this stuff. But I bought a glow in the dark Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I mean, it said glow in the dark, and I'm like, glow in the dark? Because, I mean, if you're a 90s kid, glow in the dark was where it was at. So, yeah, and the 80s. So, I mean, he's got a gun that glows in the dark. His suit glows in the dark. So I'm like, yeah, $12. Sure. Why not? We'll take it.
I bought this off of Twitter a couple weeks ago.
Off Twitter?
Off of Twitter, yeah. There was a gal that was selling a whole bunch of the Super 7 Ninja Turtle stuff. And one that I'd passed on when it originally came out, because I was like, I don't need that. Later on, I start thinking, it'd be kind of cool to own that, actually. Let's see what that costs on eBay. Oh, no, I'm not spending that on that. But I got a glow-in-the-dark Baxter Stockman.
Ah, you got that. That is rad.
Yeah, and I got it for a lot less than it goes for on eBay. It's wonderful. I absolutely love it. My wife was jealous. The one that convinced me to buy it because I was like, "Oh, be proud of me. I was going to buy this thing and then I didn't." She's like, "But she offered you how much for it, and you didn't take that? Like, what's wrong with you?" I was like, beep, beep, beep,
yeah,
beep.
I am. Consider me jealous.
Oh, fair. It's so
I like your Scream shirt.
Oh yeah, this is a gift from our friend Casey. Yeah, Scream's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I've also got the glow in the dark Mutagen Man.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you want to see him?
Yeah, I do.
He's right here. This was on sale for like $20 on Entertainment Earth. So I was like, well, heck, I might as well buy that for $20. I'll buy that for $1.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really great. Huh?
His gun looks just like the gun that this guy has, like the same sort of plastic.
Is that also Mattel? Oh no, this is Super 7.
No, this is Mattel, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, this isn't Mattel at all. Yeah. Oh, I love these things. So I just pre-ordered the glow in the dark Slash.
There's a Slash that glows in the dark?
It just went up for pre-order, I want to say yesterday. It's gonna cost you, maybe it'll cost you less because you're in California, but it's gonna cost me $75 effing because of shipping and taxes. But I love Slash. So
let me know if they do a Leatherhead that glows in the dark, because I would be all over that.
Oh yeah, I've got Leatherhead. Have you seen Leatherhead? You got Leatherhead, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I love that figure in the Playmates days because it was. I remember eventually like the top jaw broke off, but
yeah, you could pop it back on. I think it's just
maybe it's alligators. Toys of alligators. It's fun.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah, mine's right over there on the.
Nice. I just opened up Buzz.
Nice.
Because I want to see how well he glows. Like, does he glow really well? Articulation is really stiff on this figure.
Yeah, the glow-in-the-dark stuff is so much fun. I regret not buying the Super 7 glow-in-the-dark turtles now.
I'm going to blast it with my cell phone light.
Do it.
Oh,
everyone's down on the Super 7 turtles because they re-released like the first 2 waves. So the people buying them to like try and sell them 6 months later for 5 times the cost, like got caught holding the bag. I'm like, I think if you hold on to them for like 10 years, like the Masters Universe Classics collection, I think they might go up then, but it's not going to be a quick flip.
Huh.
But the glow in the dark turtles, yeah, I should have bought those.
Huh. For some reason, my flashlight is not you see it's like grayed out, it doesn't turn on.
Oh.
Weird. Bizarre. All right. Well, I'll just set him here in front of the computer for a bit and then we'll try and
Yeah, fantastic.
see how well he glows. But yeah, that's cool stuff. Interesting comment here that I'm the first woman that collects Star Wars merchandise that you've seen. Interesting. If you jump on TikTok, you'll see a ton of girl collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of them. And they have way nicer displays than I do.
Oh, on Twitter too. Yeah, if you go into Twitter, there's a bunch on there.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. What else? Okay, so this was another random buy.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get what I just put together today.
Oh, then I will wait for you and I'll continue reading some of these comments here. Thank you, Justin. Collect them all. Not the Buzz Lightyear stuff, but it glowed in the darks. How could I say no? Let's see here. Episode 1, Darth Maul looks scary under black light. Interesting. I never tried that. Holonette, how's it going? Prefer the cartoon style turtles, but refuse to buy from NECA. Yeah, I mean, that's, NECA does beautiful sculpts. Their sculpting is just on a whole other level. The problem is that their toys are not toys, really. We're talking about NECA, Tom, how, the sculpts are gorgeous.
Yeah.
But functionality is not, they're not really toys.
I've had them break on me too many times. They like they just fall and they just shatter. I love the turtle ones, the Ninja Turtles, cartoon turtles, and that's why I bought this Krang, because Lord knows if Super 7 will ever get to this Krang. For whatever reason, even though this was the main Krang in the gosh darn TV show, all the toy lines are always like, we're going to give you the stupid Bubble Walker first. Remember the Bubble Walker? Take your Bubble Walker and shove it up your bubble. Like, no, I want Krang in his android body. For goodness sakes, people.
Even during the Playmates days, like I always thought that was weird. It's like,
yeah,
why? Like he doesn't look like this in the show most of the time. Like why?
No, that was the plot in the first 2 episodes. He's like, Shredder, give me a body. I hate walking in this crappy Bubble Walker. And then they do, and then he's in the other thing for the rest of the series.
Yeah. Thank you, JK. Appreciate that. Andrew, thank you. Appreciate that as well. All right, Tom. So let's see what you got.
Okay. So I've had this vintage figure for many. Oh gosh. Hang on 1 second.
Kitty cat. Gotta love those pets. Dude's Nerdery, how's it going? Good to see you. Yes, the return to regularly scheduled episodes. Thank you for coming on, my friend. Good to see you. I have an extra room for collection. My wife thinks I am crazy. I do too. I mean, I have this collection room / office. It's not a huge space, but it's what I have, and it gets the job done. So I can see most of my stuff. I thought Krang had a tripod roller. That Walker was a Playmates thing. I think, yeah, I have the Playmates one over on the shelf. The re-release one from 2000. I think it was 2010, 2009, something like that. And yeah, it has the 2 legs. And it's cool, but it's not really representative of Krang from TMNT at large. So
what did I miss about Krang?
Nothing, just that like you were saying, it's weird that they made the one that they made and not the Android one.
Yeah, they made they always stuck with this stupid thing.
Yeah, that's the one.
I hate this thing. I mean, I like the toy of it. And the Super 7 one is cool. If you've heard about the loose hips, though, totally correct. I had to put stuff into it but just give me the Krang in the proper body. All right, can I show you what I got now? That my
Yes.
cat knocked over one of the things.
Yeah, let's see it.
All right, this.
Ah, okay.
So I had the figure for years, and then on a Facebook group, there was a fellow that was selling the vintage correct poncho, but no belt. But on eBay, I bought Leia's poncho belt because that one is a lot cheaper, and it fits just fine, and it's basically the same thing.
Interesting.
So I was pretty happy about that. The other thing I wanted to show you.
Yeah, congrats. That's a good acquisition.
Oh yeah. I'm working on the vintage Star Wars display now, slowly going through and buying accessories every once in a while to, finish some of those things out. But the other one I wanted to show you that my cat then came up and knocked over is the Sky Striker.
Ah, there we go.
Sky Striker.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Look at this. Oh no, it does the. Yeah, got cool wings and stuff.
That is beautiful, Tom.
Yeah, it's really
I'm
neat.
stoked. I'm stoked to get mine.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
And it's not the kind of thing I would normally go for, but it's one of those things. It's like, how can I not get it? So
let me ask you something. Did you get it after the Rancor failed?
I wasn't going to get the Rancor anyway, but I told you that like back then.
I'm sure you did. Oh, breaks my heart.
Sorry for the light. I'm blasting Buzz Lightyear with light right now. Yeah. So no, it's funny. I saw this. I saw on TikTok. This guy did a video. Local guy. He took his Sky Striker to like the filming locations where they did Top Gun here.
Oh,
and
snap.
He took like photos and like video of it. And it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if I can find that, but it was it was pretty cool. He kind of recreated like with the music and everything, like moments from the movie.
Oh, that's really fun. Yeah, this was a consolation prize for me after the Rancor didn't hit its goal. I was like, well, you know what I might as well do? Might as well buy the Sky Striker and then flip it a year later. I won't even open it from the box. Yeah, sure.
All right, so it is glowing. I'm going to see how I can do this best here.
I envy you there, Jedi Gemini.
No, it's too dark. Too bright. There we go. Kind of, sort of. Now you can see it.
Yeah.
So it's only like his torso that glows. The gun doesn't glow.
It's fine. It's most of his costume.
That's true. So impulse buy.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. It's totally an impulse buy. Mm-hmm. Dude's Nerdery says, Mrs. Dude thinks I'm crazy too. I'll say it's because of the toys. Yeah, I'll say it's because of the toys too in my case, but also Tim Burton, like I was saying earlier.
I think I'm crazy just because of the fact that the chemicals don't work quite correctly in my brain. And therefore, sometimes I have to go out at night hunting people.
There's that too. Here's my other random purchase. I got the Stranger Things Eddie Munson figure.
Oh, man. What a delight he was, right?
I know. He's my favorite.
That was a good season of that show. That was a lot of fun.
I know. He actually looks pretty good, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty nice. Got his Hellfire Club shirt. And yeah. So it was just an impulse buy. It was like, do I need Eddie? Yes, I do. So I bought Eddie. Here he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
I mentioned earlier that I've been trying to fill some holes in my Indiana Jones collection, the 2008 line.
See how this works out. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did mention that. Yeah.
So I picked up Temple of Doom Indiana Jones from eBay.
Uh-huh.
And this isn't one this is actually not very common because it was the very last wave and it didn't really hit retail. It hit more like in like drugstores and stuff.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so this is Temple of Doom Indy. It's the only one I've seen on eBay this year, like at all. So,
oh wow, really?
And they mislisted it because they didn't write Temple of Doom on the listing, so I think people just didn't see it.
Uh-huh.
And it was actually a fairly decent price, so I ended up picking them up. And this is like one of the better ones from that line. So
nice.
Yeah. So not only that, so I grabbed that. And I also got the cargo truck.
Oh, that's fun. I miss vehicles.
Yeah. There's actually, it's pretty cool because you can put like your German soldiers on it, or put somebody driving, or put Indy driving.
Which movie is this from?
This one is from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
There's actually a variant of this too. I think maybe Toys R Us exclusive, but this one has a plastic canopy. The exclusive one had a cloth canopy. And it's a little bit less common, but you could still pick it up on eBay around the same price if you want to. Maybe one day, but for now, I just wanted the regular version.
You gonna take it out of the box?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay,
yeah, I am definitely. I have these figures, the German soldiers, and the indies. So I'm definitely gonna set this up on the shelf.
Yeah, that's really
fun.
I
kind of been feeling indie lately. I a couple of weeks ago, I rewatched all the movies. Yeah, so the new movie's coming out later this year, so I'm kind of feeling indie lately.
I like Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade quite a bit, but I've never been a big indie fan. I never liked Temple of Doom, and I didn't care much for Crystal Skull. Last Crusade is the one I really liked because it's it's just kind of a remake of Raiders of the Lost Ark, but Sean Connery as the funny dad is along the way too. So yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, Temple of Doom was actually my favorite, but I think now
a lot of people love it. Yeah.
Yeah, now I would say Last Crusade is probably my favorite.
Yeah, it's just it's a better version of or it's a funnier version of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. Jedi Gemini says that he got Eddie as well. Very nice, very nice. Alex is asking, will you be picking up the 6-inch Indiana Jones? Yes, I have them on pre-order. Because they don't, like I said, they don't make Indiana Jones stuff very often. And a lot of the time, honestly, it's for good reason. But when they do, it's kind of one of those things, that, you kind of got to get it because there's not very much of it. So I do have most of the figures on pre-order. So I am going to be getting those. And I've seen reviews on them and they look great. So.
Oh, yeah. I'll probably buy a classic normal looking Indiana Jones when he hits a sale because that'd just be a great thing to have in the collection.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Maybe old man, maybe old Henry Jones too.
Okay.
Because
Mary says that she has picked up the truck with the canvas top. Very nice.
Oh, awesome! Wow.
Yeah, that is cool. It's a neat variant. It really is. Hollinet says going to use the Russian lady from Crystal Skull as Governor Price.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. I've heard people doing this before, and it's actually pretty neat. I think what I saw is they made a comic pack in I think the Legacy collection for Star Wars, and it was Dina Shan was her name, or no, it was the 30th anniversary collection, and
female Imperial officer.
Yeah, she's a gray suited Imperial officer, and I've seen people take that body and then they take the Crystal Skull figure, and then they put her head on Dina Shan's body, and that's how they make Governor Price.
Yeah, I have the Dina Shan figure in storage, I think, because that was one of those things I was like, oh, cool, it's a female Imperial officer. That's a fun thing to own. Yeah.
Justin says Temple of Doom. I wanted those figs and I never had them anywhere in my neck of the woods. Yeah, I think I heard it was just like drugstores like Rite Aid and like places like that ended up getting those.
Yeah, because it was like the major retailers had said no, right?
Yeah, it was like the last wave of the line. And then they did a San Diego Comic Con the following year, the Lost Wave. Right. And to get those now, it's like $500 for the set. So, would you like to get a 3D animated intro for your channel? I thought about doing that. Sure, I'll take a look at that. That sounds cool. Thank you. That sounds really sweet. Appreciate that.
Peak Obi-Wan. Okay.
New indie? Yeah, well.
I'll check it out at some point.
Yeah, I will too. I mean, it's Indiana Jones. It's going to be fun. Even if it's not great, it's going to be fun. So, actually, I started putting together an Indiana Jones like cosplay costume for Comic-Con. So,
nice.
I think I'm going to do one day. I'm going to do Indiana Jones, and another day I'm going to do Kylo Ren, and I might do Wednesday one of the days too.
I forget. Did you need me to mail you my Black Series helmet for Kylo Ren, or are you just going to get one?
I'm probably going to go without the helmet.
Oh, okay.
One year for Halloween, I did Kylo Ren and I just painted on like the scar.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to do that again.
frankly, the best Kylo Ren is the Kylo Ren without a helmet. There's no
Yeah.
reason for him to wear a helmet in those movies.
Yeah, and I'll trip on myself and fall with the helmet on. I know I will.
Yeah,
It's unavoidable.
the helmet's cool
Um,
looking, but it's dumb.
Yeah, it's not really necessary, and then my hair will be, like, sticking out of the helmet, so it's like, no.
Yeah,
But I'll
yeah. And
hopefully
you've got good hair for Kylo Ren, so do it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thanks. Hopefully, I'll have my new saber too. I'm sure I will, it's plenty of time, before then, so I'll take
Otherwise, just glue on a couple of red colored dowels to the one that you've got. Look pretty much the same. Be just as authentic. Tape it on. Just tape them on.
Maybe. General Veers is in The Last Crusade. That's true, Donovan.
Mhm. And also Game of Thrones.
Yes, he was in Game of Thrones too, and he died.
Yep.
That's why you
Spoiler
dyed your hair
alert.
black. No, not quite. Not because of Kylo Ren. But if you wear a helmet, you are better protected if you trip. That is true. I can't argue with that.
But you're more likely to trip.
I'm more likely to trip, especially me.
I've worn that helmet, man. That's
Yeah, I'm ridiculous clumsy. Like I'll fall like right away, and it won't be funny.
Yeah.
Not to me anyway.
No good. No good.
Then I'll see that video on Instagram later and be like, oh yeah, this lady was dressed as Kylo Ren. She fell.
I mean, that
I'm
could be
like,
a funny bit. You could do that as like a recurring bit through the whole night. Just keep walking around and like stumbling and
Yeah.
falling like with the people and stuff like that.
Just got the Kylo Ren helmet. Nice. Very cool. And the last thing that came in this week, I finally got her in a Funko Pop. I don't really buy Funko Pops. I know. But every once in a while, if it's like merchandise you can't really get like as action figures, it's like, okay.
Do we need to have an intervention here? Chat, what do we say? Do we need to have an intervention about Funko Pops? Funko Pops are bad.
They
take up
are.
space that could be filled with valuable action figures for old people like me.
Can't argue with that.
Like me want our action figures.
Can't argue with that.
Funko Pops are in the way.
Yeah, no, it's true. But there aren't any other action figures available. So
Funko Pops sell. You know what doesn't sell? Action figures.
That one's hard to get. That one's like really hard to find right now. I got lucky.
Pops are, yeah. I'm glad you got it. That's great.
I don't really do those, but I have a few Funko Pops. I have like a Marilyn Monroe one, and I have I have just like a handful, but it's always stuff that you can't buy like as action figures. So
yeah, if I gave you a careful walk around our space here, you might find a few Funko Pops. I'm not going to pretend that there aren't a couple here, but I hate them. You should make toys for me.
They're plastic.
Listen to me, Star Wars Hasbro team. I'll tell you what you need to do to get me back on board. I want the Max Rebo Band, Vintage Collection, Black Series. No more Mandalorians. No more clones. No more Darth Vaders. No more Luke Skywalkers. Don't tell me that those are the ones that sell. What people really want are 6-inch versions of Yak Face. Yak Face.
Yak Face. Yakety yak.
This is why Hasbro should not listen to me and not try and market towards me at all.
Yeah, and that's basically what's come in this week, for the most part.
Great, yeah. I think I got my 2 belts today I bought a wrong belt first for this guy and then got the correct belt about an hour later. And
cool.
Yeah, and Sky Striker arrived last week. That's it. That's it for me too. I'm waiting on Big Bad Toy Store for Clone Wars Darth Maul and 2 excellent Thundercats, the LJN colored versions from Super 7, and that's going to be it for a little while for old Tom, I think.
So Maul, did you get Ayla Secura?
Yes, I got her. She arrived first, so I got her a while back. She's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
She's great. I think that's her my favorite figure in a while from Black Series.
It really, really stood out. I put my Black Series figures away for the time being so that I could have more room for my vintage stuff. But that was right when I got Ayla Secura, and that was definitely like, oh man, there's so many good Jedi figures out there right now. And now they're coming out with Ki-Adi Mundi, who's dull, but
He's
He's
a
a character
leading
we should
member
have.
of the Jedi Council.
Yeah, so I want him.
Is he not?
I sure want him. Yeah, for sure.
At least he's not Sifo Dyas or something.
I like that in the Clone Wars they made a whole thing about, oh, Sifo Dyas. He was totally this guy that was captured in this thing or whatever. It's like the original draft for Attack of the Clones, it was Sifo Dyas. And then they changed it at the last minute because they're like, oh, it's too obviously Sidious.
Right.
Sifo Dyas. Just
Yeah.
cobbled it together. It's fine.
Yeah.
Holonet, I'm going to bet $150 for the N1. That's my guess. 150.
150 for the N1.
It'll be my guess.
It'd be in that range, I think 150 to 200, somewhere like that. Sounds. Yeah. TVC Sandcrawler, no.
No.
Respectfully, no. I love the Sandcrawler. It's an amazing piece of Star Wars, but they've made it. It may not be the best Sandcrawler.
They've made two of them.
Yeah, so Disney has one too. It may not be they may not be scaled appropriately, but what is when it comes to Star Wars toys, vehicles?
Where are you going to put these things? I have the sail barge. It's almost impossible. Where would you put a scaled Sandcrawler? Like instead of the TV? Wait, what if they did a vintage collection Sandcrawler, but one side of it you could like remove, and then there's like a 60-inch TV there. So it's like, oh, hey, I'm buying us a new TV. Psych, it's also the Sandcrawler. I'm just saying, make it functional as well.
I mean, it would be cool. Honestly, it would be cool to see, but I just don't think it's necessary when you have things like the Cantina, like the Death Star, like there's other things that we've never really gotten properly that I think should take precedent. And then if they want to come back to the Sandcrawler and things they've already done in years past later, sure.
That's exactly my take.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want another X-Wing. I don't want another Sandcrawler. I don't even want another Shuttle Tidarian up there. Good old Shuttle Tidarian. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Shuttle Tidarian, what is your cargo and destination?
Oh, we're going to the forest moon of Endor, and we're delivering scrap metal and Princess Leia.
What does he say? Like technical support to the forest moon or something?
Parts and technical for forest moon.
There you go. Technical support. Drayton, thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Have a good weekend. Is the Disney one still available? Yes, I believe so. I don't know if it's a Galaxy's Edge, but they have it in Tomorrowland.
That's cool.
And it's only like $100, or it was for a long time. I don't know what it costs.
I mean, that's a good deal for one of those sorts of things.
It's bigger than the Hasbro one. It's not. It doesn't look as pretty, but it's bigger, and you can do more stuff with it. So that's definitely the route to go if you were gonna get one.
Yeah, I saw reviews of that, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." If you want a big Sandcrawler, go with that. If you want something where the droids are the size of the wheels on the thing, build it out of wood.
Build it out of wood. Black Series of Migs from the Prison Break episode was on figure one. It's a really good figure. Like, I was surprised at how good that figure is. Is that one you picked up, Tom?
No. If he came with a cup of Dunkin' Donuts coffee, I might have purchased it then. But no Dunkin', no Migs.
I was actually surprised. Like it's really good. It's a really good figure. I mean, I was not excited for it at all because we already had the other one. I'm like, okay, do I need that one? I mean, they're not going to make the other characters from that episode, probably, right? So do I need just Migs by himself? But it's actually a really good figure.
Can you name any of the other characters from that episode?
Nope.
Right. So who cares?
There was the Deveronian dude and the Twi'lek chick, and I don't know their names.
Oh, they made the robot, right? The one by Richard
Zero,
Iode?
Or whatever his name is. I don't even remember.
I remember I was so excited that Richard Iode was going to be in a Star Wars episode because he's so hilarious. And then there was nothing funny in it. And I was like, oh, God. It's like getting Matt Berry to play 8D8 in Boba Fett, the TV series. Nothing.
Yeah. So I need a big shuttle, says Holland. Again, respectfully, no, because we have an Imperial shuttle. Is it perfect? Not by any stretch of the imagination. It's basically a reissue of the vintage one with updated deco. If you have the most recent one from the Saga collection, but it gets the job done. If you're just going to have it on a shelf, you can put your troopers, put the Emperor coming out of it, the whole procession. It's great.
You're not going to be able to fit another thing. Like that's
Yeah, it's beautiful. The one they did is gorgeous.
I
Like the
love it.
last one, it's
Mine's
amazing.
the vintage one. Mine's the straight up vintage one from the
And
80s.
that one's
Love it.
that one's great too.
Yeah.
Not perfect, but I mean, I can't even say that like the Razor Crest is perfect. Like if you think about how hard it was to put those weapons in the gun locker.
That was a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, so I mean,
Did you have to use tweezers?
I did use tweezers.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I've got for purchases. I'm waiting on some stuff.
Nice, and that's what I have. So
Star Destroyer for 3.75 figures. That's what I've always wanted my whole life. It doesn't need to scale to be in scale with a TIE fighter or anything like that. It can be the length of the sail barge. But that was a thing I wanted as a kid. I think now that the time has passed. I think I'd be like, it's too big. I don't have room for it anymore. I bought the Mattel Creations Eternia playset. So
okay.
That's going to be it. No more space for Tom.
Oh, there's one more thing that came in. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab it.
Do it.
Tom, you have to entertain the troops.
All right, I'll entertain the troops. Hey, everyone, who wants to hear a joke? I certainly would like to hear a joke. Who's got a joke? I'd take a Star Destroyer bridge playset. Yeah, that would be really cool. That's sort of what the old playset was. It's sort of the little spot you put the bounty hunters and you put your little Imperial commanders around it and their little thing. Yeah, like a display diorama piece. That would be really neat. Would be really neat. Yeah, would absolutely buy that. Is anyone here excited about the bunker, the Endor bunker? I have already bought farmland in Scotland to film. Oh, that's the way to do it. Yeah, with the meditation chamber. All right, what do you got? If you show me that lightsaber again, I'm gonna. It's the lightsaber again, isn't it?
No, it's not the lightsaber. It is this.
I can't even tell what I'm looking at. Oh, it's a Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's the SH Figure Arts 6-inch Book of Boba Fett with throne.
Oh, wow.
It's a big box.
Oh, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah, here's the back.
That's really fun. Also, I might be the only person on the planet that's really excited about the retro Boba Fett toy figures that are coming out.
You probably are.
Yeah. That is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. I imported it from Japan. I had pre-ordered it, and it's here. So I haven't opened it, obviously, but this will probably be like a next weekend thing.
Are you going to do a review of it? You should.
I don't know. I don't have time to do reviews.
That's fair.
I mean, if like 1 million people watch them, I'd be like, sure. But if only like 5 people are going to watch them, it's like.
All right. Well, then you just got to live stream with me, or don't live stream, just FaceTime with me, so I can watch you while you open it and you
live reviews. Yeah. Thank you,
cool.
Rodri. Good to see you.
Super cool.
Thank you, Jacob. It is a cool set. Okay, random one. Did you hear about the U.S. sending rescue dogs to Turkey? That is an interesting.
No,
thing.
Andrew, I did not hear about the U.S.
neither.
sending rescue dogs to Turkey.
Speaking of news, I heard that the U.S. shot down some sort of an unmanned object over Alaska today.
It's another balloon.
You think so?
Yeah. You think it's a flying saucer?
I don't know. I don't think it was a flying saucer, but I don't really know enough to say one way or the other.
I mean, it's an unknown object, so by definition, it's a UFO, right?
By definition, it is a UFO, yes.
But
they even said that like on the world news this evening. I heard it. But
an unidentified unmanned craft.
What the heck is it? What the heck is it?
I suspect it's another balloon type thing because
it's at 40. It was at 40,000 feet though, so it wasn't that high.
That's higher than. That's pretty high up.
Is it? Wasn't the last one like 60,000 feet or something?
Yeah, I think the other one was much higher. The other one was like up in almost in the stratosphere or something like that. But yeah, I think the likely thing is it's probably a ghost. I think it was probably a ghost that got shot
A
down.
ghost of the balloon they just shot down earlier
Oh
in the
my
week.
God, the ghost of the balloon is coming back for revenge. The scariest balloon of all time. It's too bad the balloon thing didn't happen closer to Halloween, because how many people would dress up as the Chinese balloon for Halloween?
Yeah, I already saw like somebody mocked up their own 3D printed Funko Pop of the balloon.
Oh, amazing. Perfect. Yeah, that's
Yeah, and it said on the back it had a little sticker made in China.
yeah. Yeah, that's what you got to do, right? Oh
Yeah,
no, it's the balloon.
yeah. I mean, I really want to know what this thing was. I know,
Oh, we'll find out.
for folks here that are tuning in, like, this is one of the things, Tom, when you're on the show that we get into is like the paranormal sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
and
really
that's also around the time we start losing viewers. So,
it's usually on my 4th gin and tonic.
right.
I'm taking it easy tonight.
Yeah, I want to know what this thing is. I want more information because, I mean, it coming off of the heels of the balloon thing, I think, some of us are maybe inclined to think it is something like that, but
Yeah.
they said it was a threat to aircraft. So it's like, well, what was it? So I kind of want to know what it was.
Well, because that could be in jet airspace. Like we were talking about helicopters earlier off this, but like helicopters, I don't think can go that high up. But I think
No, I said it was a helicopter because of your sighting one time. You were like, oh, maybe it was a helicopter, not an actual UFO.
Oh, the triangular thing with the 3 lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly not aliens, so it must have been a weather balloon.
They're saying it was the size of a car, whatever this object was.
Well, the balloon was the size of a bus.
What? I thought they said it was the size of like 3 buses or something.
Yeah, it might have been 3 buses. It was pretty big.
And it had like a 60-foot like technology bay or something.
Yeah, well, it's probably like the big, dish that it's used to like, spy on the Midwest as it slowly drifted across the continent. I think we're going to find out what this is, but let's keep in mind if we're talking about like cool UAP stuff that zips around, the Tic Tacs, we wouldn't be able to shoot one of those down, right?
No, I doubt it.
Like those things move in ways that our understanding of how to, make physics work doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be able to shoot one of those down. So I don't think this one's particularly interesting. There was a I should have boned up on the radio. We got a radio signal from another galaxy or something like that, and it's on the hydrogen line, which is a thing that I should have boned up on it to be able to talk about that. But that was the thing that I found pretty interesting. But yeah, no, yeah. I don't think. I think this one's just another spying balloon.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see. Hopefully it's not like going to be like a top secret thing and they're like, oh, we're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Or it could be the next Roswell.
It could be the next Roswell. Yeah. There's I still don't know if I believe that was one of their advanced weather balloons or if it was something else. I don't know.
Pico B1's asking, have either of you ever seen a ghost? Tom, have I ever seen a ghost before?
Victoria has had hallucinations late at night when she's asleep and was slowly waking out of unconsciousness where she thinks she sees a ghost.
I've actually never claimed to have seen a ghost with my eyes. However, I have felt ghosts.
Yep.
I have heard ghosts. And I have recorded ghosts on photos and in audio. And when I say ghosts, that means that I don't know exactly what they are. But yes, I have a number of ghost stories. Tom's probably heard most of them.
Oh, I love them now. I live.
Yeah. I have photos of what I believe are ghosts. That I've had for a number of years. But yeah, I purposefully seek out that kind of stuff. Whenever I stay at the almost 100-year-old Hollywood Roosevelt, which I stay, at least a couple times a year. I like this last time I requested purposefully the most haunted room in the hotel. because I'm a weirdo.
I mean, that's the room I would stay in too. Sorry, Glenda. Right.
And because of Tim Burton. I'm going to blame Tim Burton again.
Yeah.
You did this to me.
Sleep paralysis. I've had that.
I have too.
Yeah, sleep paralysis is really unpleasant.
It sucks. I haven't gotten it in a really long time.
It's been over 10 years for me, I think.
Yeah, I used to get it quite a bit. But like, I don't know, like the ghost thing is somebody once told me, like, we hear things because we have ears, we see things because we have eyes, we smell things that we have a nose. Could there be some other thing that we don't have the appropriate like part on our body to sense that is around us, and for whatever reason sometimes it gets through to those other senses? That's the best way I can describe like ghosts, is that we may be just lacking the appropriate sense to pick up on it most of the time.
Yeah, I won't discount that. I don't think that there are dead people floating around. I absolutely don't. Like, I'm absolutely 100% convinced that that's not the case.
No, they're aliens and cloaking devices.
I mean, that's like the thought that we have a full understanding of everything going on around us, especially when we see the video evidence of the Tic Tac stuff. Like, we don't know that those are aliens. We just don't know what they are. We have no idea what those things are. They could be a strange atmospheric phenomenon that we just don't know anything about, which is probably a scarier thing.
Sure.
So,
yeah, or even scarier, we're in a simulation and they're just like some sort of like an artifact or something, that like a glitch,
I almost think that wouldn't be quite as scary. Like, this whole simulation thing, it's just the same as believing in, like, if there's a God or not, right?
I guess so.
On a basic level, the way it fundamentally adjusts your way of looking at the world, it's like, all right, well, God created all of this so he can watch all of us and do stuff. Or a super alien that existed, evolved 1 billion years ago, they created it and are observing it. The same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think either of those are true, but they're possible. They're absolutely possible.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my experiences, and there are things that happen when I wasn't asleep, or things that ended up on a photograph, or things that I felt physically. So I mean, I do think there is something more. What that really is, though, I have no clue. I mean, when we say ghost, like you said, we that kind of suggests maybe it is like a dead person floating around, but not necessarily. I mean, it could be anything, really.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, I've had experiences. I do have like a sense for things that happen. Just like shifts in energy, and like I don't know, like if somebody walked into the room and I didn't actually hear them, like I would sense that shift in energy just in the air.
Yep. Yeah.
So I mean, stuff like that.
When someone's coming up behind you because of like the prickle on the back of your neck,
Yeah,
which tends to just be people's energy starting to like.
Exactly. It's energy, right? I mean, that's what it is. It's just like, perception of like energy that you're not necessarily like seeing or hearing. Right. It's, a sensation that something's there. And then the sounds, that, I hear sometimes.
I think that believing that we have an absolute 100% understanding of all those things would be absurd. Despite my convinced nature that it's not dead people. And that's because I think that there are more dead people in history than there are living people.
Right.
And if we're not seeing them do stuff all the time, and if they're able to move things like open doors or lift chairs or stuff like that, they would be able to probably type on a keyboard or write a message, and they don't do that. So
yeah,
I don't think that they're, whatever they are, I don't think they're versions of us.
Right. Well, then you get into like the whole theories of, well, is it just a few that stay behind because they don't cross over or whatever?
So many millions and millions of law of averages.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's like, I mean, my beliefs are probably not like normal like beliefs for most people, but I don't think it's like anything evil per se, and I don't think it's anything like necessarily like good per se either. It's just something, it's just, it's just something that's there.
It obviously it doesn't seem to be able to interact with us or interfere with us very much. Or if it does
No.
in ways that we don't notice.
Or when we do, it's not substantial enough for us to be like, oh, yep, for sure, there it is.
There's
It was a
that.
ghost.
Mhm.
It's just little fleeting things, passing things. But if you're open enough and sensitive enough to these things, you're able to perceive them every now and again, basically.
Yeah, and I don't think you're correct there, HoloNet One. I think we might know one day. We might have solid answers. I don't think in our lifetime, but if we as a species survive to live another 1,000 years of development, I think we'll probably be able to figure out what those things are, if they exist at all. They could be, I think you were joking when you said that they're aliens, but if you imagine that an alien civilization developed 1 billion years ago into a spacefaring thing and evolved in some sort of transcendental way, like, oh, maybe it's stuff like that, and then that could be the same as like angels and demons, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the ghost thing, they don't really scare me. I mean, I guess because I feel like I've gone to a point, like, I feel like when you get to a point in your life when you're confident enough in who you are and you know who you are, and you feel strong in that regard, that kind of stuff can't really bother you. But that said, there's a place here in San Diego. There's Old Town San Diego where the city started, hundreds of years ago. There's this place called the Whaley House. It's purportedly one of the most haunted places in the U.S.
Yep.
I've never been inside it. It's closed most of the time, but I have been around it. I've walked behind it. Like, my brother came to visit a couple of years ago, and he and I went back there and like walked around it. And I did get it like a very like ugly like feeling, like a negative sense. And there was a time where we went to look at a house, like a Victorian era house, just to check it out. And it was old and everything. We go into the attic, and then I just got like an overwhelming sense of like wanting to cry, and I couldn't figure out why. I mean, so there's things like that, but I mean, it's just like vibes, I guess. Like, I don't know. There's some sort of like an energy or some sort of a thing. I mean, that doesn't make me that it's like an evil thing, right? It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either.
Alex mentions the Hotel del Coronado. Yeah, that's here too locally, and that is that's from the 1800s too. And yeah, I do get a sense in that one too when you walk like in the hallways, like that you're kind of like a being watched sort of sense, but not necessarily like scared or anything. Just kind of like, a little bit of an uneasiness, I would say.
I would be curious about like a double blind sort of test on these sorts of things. Someone that goes into one of these places that knows nothing of the history, if they get the same sort of vibes as people that have the history. Because I remember I went over a haunted bridge in Vermont once, a supposedly haunted bridge, and I got a creepy feeling. But then I was like, oh, I've got a creepy feeling here because everyone told me creepy stories about this creepy bridge. It was kind of a creepy covered bridge.
That's true. I mean, there are places that don't even have reputations that I'll go into, and I'll kind of just feel like, my husband and I went into a store that sold like house decorations in here locally. And just as soon as we walked, it was kind of like a high-end store. We just wanted to browse and take a look. We walked in, and as soon as I walked in there, I just kind of felt like, I asked the guy, I said, hey, you guys have a ghost here, huh? And he's like, actually, we do.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I'm like,
all right, there you
yeah.
go.
I was like, yeah. I mean, so I do have like a sense for some of that. Like, when I go into certain spaces, I can kind of just feel that energy or something. So again, don't know what it is. Doesn't mean it's a deceased like old boogeyman floating around. It's just something, is some sort of a residual like energy that is, at least I can perceive it to some extent. So.
Well, and also, like, if I was hanging out with you every day and you suddenly showed up with the black hair instead of the white hair, I probably wouldn't notice because I'm deeply unobservant. So, if there's these things around and someone's sensing the energy, I'm like, I don't sense anything. It's like, well, that tracks, Tom. You're a little dense. Yeah.
And, same thing with this. There's an old, it's a former Sears store. It's now a hardware store in my hometown. And, whenever I go in there, I feel it too. And I've asked the workers there, like, you guys have any ghosts? And they're like, "Mhm." I went upstairs there one time, and there was nobody there, and I heard footsteps behind me. So I mean, again, things happen.
Yeah.
Don't know what they are,
Who are
but
you gonna call?
I was waiting for it. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway.
I hope so. I have to sit there and hope for all of these things. I spend a lot of time thinking about extraterrestrial life, and the only one that really creeps me out is if we're alone. And there's a scientific argument for that. And it's that I find the most haunting, terrible, tragic thing you could possibly conceive of.
I agree. Yeah, I
hope
agree.
all this stuff is out there.
Yeah, I mean, my personal thoughts are, there is something more. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
I'm not a religious. Yeah, I'm not a religious person. I mean, I do have like spiritualistic beliefs. I think there is something more, but what that is exactly, I don't know. I have no evidence. I just have like feelings and
faith,
ideas.
I have faith. I can sit here and ramrod and yell at people about believing in ghosts to the end of time, but I've got a lot of faith in other stuff out there. I just don't think it's dead people. That's it. You could tell me there's spirits from trees, and I'd be like, well, that tracks more than for me.
Yeah, it could be just interdimensional stuff. I mean, wormholes. Again, you start going into a figurative wormhole by like talking about all that stuff too. You just kind of like open the can of worms, but
or things we don't even have a frame of reference to be able to conceive of yet,
exactly, right? It could be that. Yeah
if you showed an airplane to a caveman, well, what the heck that is,
or a flying spaghetti monster,
or you show them an iPhone playing a video of a music video, they wouldn't be able to describe what they're looking at, right? So yeah, that's very possibly these things as well. Same with the Tic Tacs. Could be
time travel stuff. I mean, any infinite number of possibilities, and all we can really do is hypothesize and talk about what we've personally experienced. At the end of the day, at this point, we don't know what is.
Not quite as handsome as Fox Mulder, but I'm going to be Fox Mulder tonight. Am I getting the Alf Necafig? No. Like Dan's doing spiritual stuff in New York. The Ghostbusters beginning. What?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. I live in New York, so if there's spiritual stuff going on here, let me know.
Oh, I have a theory about this one. Sasquatch. I just told my husband about this. The reason that people see Sasquatch but cannot find Sasquatch when they go look for it, ghosts. It's a ghost of like a 3 million year old, like early, like human ancestor, just floating around the woods.
It all makes sense now. It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, Andrew Clark. Sorry, no, you asked the question earlier, and I thought I set you up for the punchline, but then I missed the punchline. It was the one about, did you hear about the person sending dogs to Turkey? Right?
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. It was something like that, and then we paused. I thought the answer was going to pop in, and then we got distracted. Dinosaur ghosts are what we make action figures out of. Come on, we all know this. You want to see a dinosaur ghost? It's this. And they also run our cars.
Yeah, gasoline doesn't power cars. It's a bunch of little ghosts pushing them around.
Rescue dogs. There's rescue. Darn it! I screwed this joke up entirely. I totally botched it. I'm sorry, Andrew. Can you cue us up again? Cue us up. I'll repeat the question, and then I'll say I don't know, and I'll repeat the question again. The Turks were made to get so many three-legged dogs. The Turks were mad to get so many three-legged dogs.
I think he was talking about that we sent dogs to Turkey, or the U.S. government sent dogs to Turkey. And I guess we sent three-legged dogs. Am I understanding correctly? I didn't know anything about this.
Oh. No, I think it was a setup to a joke, because you stepped away for a second. I said, someone tell me a joke. I didn't have any good jokes to share, at least none that are appropriate for the Cantina social hour.
Okay. It happens. We're not all Seinfeld or anything.
I'm certainly not.
My corpse is kicking in hard to text. No worries. I get that too. Years of playing guitar in the band. Yeah, power chords will kill you after years of doing it. I was, for those that don't know, since we're talking about it, I played rhythm guitar in a punk rock band for a number of years. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, very taxing on your hand to be playing power chords like hours on end, days, day after day. So, yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough. That would be pretty rough.
Yep, it would.
I never knew that you were in a punk rock band. I knew that you played guitar, but that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and we never like exploded or anything, but I got to record my original songs, and had fun experiences like playing in Hollywood, and meeting really cool people.
Yeah.
I got to. I ended up being able to play Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers' bass.
Oh, cool.
I don't really play bass, but I got to, they let me hold it and mess around with it.
Sure.
Yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, I got to do some really fun stuff, and I met some great people and really fun experiences that I'll always remember. But yeah, it wasn't easy either.
No, I'd imagine not. It's a lot of skill though. Good for you.
Yeah, I probably lost some of my hearing too from all that time. But
well, what do you need it for? Ghosts? Hearing ghosts? Hearing the stories ghosts want to tell you?
That's probably why I'm hearing the ghosts now.
Ghosts are trying to tell us a joke about three-legged dogs sent to Turkey. That one's gonna.
Three-legged ghosts sent to Turkey.
Yeah, what are the ghosts of then? Flea was in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, I did not know that. I
know, he was creepy.
Yeah.
You're not getting out of here.
Was that one of his lines of dialogue?
Telling Leia, nobody's coming for you.
Leia was so much fun in that show.
Yeah, she was
so much fun in that show. I have a lot of issues with that show, but it's really just in the budget.
Same. Most of mine are in the budget. Some of the silly things in it, but I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. It's better. I'm glad that existed than nothing. Than no Ewan McGregor coming back.
Yeah, I still got to see Ewan McGregor come back and play Obi-Wan again.
Right.
And I would happily watch him do it again.
And fight Vader again. So
yeah, sure. Yeah, I like seeing Owen and Beru Lars, getting to see those actors come back and have something more to do than say, "Well, I guess I'm your stepbrother. My name's Owen, and this is my girlfriend, Beru."
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Here's the blue milk.
I'm in Lixium.
Drink up.
Yeah.
I think that was her only line in that movie, right? Hello.
Yeah, probably.
In Attack of the Clones. She didn't have any Revenge of the Sith.
No. Yeah. And why no figure of our young princess? I think we all know why, because that would be new tooling, and she'd have to be a deluxe figure that would cost $35, and she'd be that big, and we would complain, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, she was a main character though, so I mean, they really need to make a figure of her.
Maybe they'll make a build-up pack that comes with a reused Obi-Wan in her. Like they do, they keep doing with the Mandalorian. Look, it's the Mandalorian. He comes with the little plastic Baby Yoda again. $40.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a way to do it, because that'd be a risky sell, unfortunately, just to Leia. But
yeah,
she was great though.
Yeah. Well, we got the mole guy. The mole guy was great.
Frick.
Well, that's a weird story.
Where are you headed?
Yeah.
Oh, I know these guys. There's something you might want to see.
What a jerk. That guy, he's a real jerk. Well,
They didn't
Victoria,
kill him either.
that would be
He lived.
mean. What do you mean killing the cute mole guy?
They just beat him over the head with a gun, and
Yeah.
he lived, I guess.
Nah, he died of starvation.
You know what's crazy though? When the stormtrooper falls onto that laser beam thing and he like splits in half.
Oh, I don't remember that. I was just too perplexed why they didn't just run around the laser beam. But
I know. Yeah.
I imagine that when they wrote the script, they imagined this big ravine with this thing, and they're like, well, we didn't find a ravine. Andor found a ravine, but we didn't get a ravine. We've got a little hill.
It reminds me too of this. I was watching on a couple of nights ago on YouTube. There was this guy that did a video of Jurassic Park and all the like little like goofs and stuff in it that they, little errors. And when they're going over the electric fence and Tim gets electrocuted, like there's a shot where you can clearly see that the fence only goes so far, and they could have easily just walked around it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah. The retro figures got more figs than the vintage collection because they are cheaper and easier to make.
Yeah, because the return on investment is a lot higher.
Yeah. The vintage collection figures, as you've probably all seen, are now $18. Those are $18 figures for a tiny little thing.
Is that what they're costing now? 18?
That's the the next ones that are coming out are going to be $17.99, I think. So.
God damn.
Yep. You gotta, each little piece has to be put together by a person. You gotta pay those people.
Yeah.
Their wages went up.
But they're probably working the same like hour shifts, right? Like if they have an 8-hour shift, it's probably still 8 hours, right? So I mean,
yeah, but their wages went up.
Yeah.
There was a big thing a few years ago where like all the Chinese labor.
No, that is true.
That's
That
it.
is
That's
true.
what happened.
As they should, know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just have to find another country to make these things for us and use children to do it. Children
Vietnam's making a lot of this stuff now. So
why, when they saved plastic from the Black Series?
I think the question is why are they almost the same price of Black Series? Maybe because they're like less plastic used. Because I think the articulation is the big thing, because the assembly, they're actually harder to assemble is what I hear than Black Series, because they're smaller and it just takes more like finessing and stuff. Yeah,
and you can't the tools to make the pieces, there's only so small you can make those things, right? Like you can have a tiny little thing that's this big, and still the machine that it takes to make that mold is
like the tools for these things are like, if the figure is this big, the tool is huge. They're huge because they have it built into it. They have like the head, the torso, the arms, the legs, the hands, all the joints, and except like all that is in the tool. So it's like really big, and they have to like every time that gets pressed, it makes another figure, and then that has to be assembled. So it's not cheap to produce toys. Yeah, at least highly articulated and detailed toys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, and as Joseph Bett says, and the shipping prices went up.
Shipping prices went up, gasoline prices, oil, all that's gone up.
I love every once in a while someone will be like, they should bring that manufacturing back to the United States. It's like, yeah, you know how much those things will cost to make here? We don't even have any factories set up to do any of that stuff, which would be a nightmarish cost in the upfront cost. But then
right.
I think you think your $20 figure is costing too much. Wait till you see it made with a big "Made in the USA" mark on it.
I know. I can't imagine what that would cost.
Yeah.
Any word on the object? Anybody in the comments heard what they shot down? I just want to know what it was.
It's a flying saucer. I'm certain.
I'm just waiting for somebody to say, "Oh, Victoria, this is what it was."
I'm going to take a look. I'm going to take a quick look. Then after that, I think I've got a mosey. But
we're almost at the 2-hour mark.
All right, flying object, Alaska. Let's see here. High altitude object, car-sized object, unidentified object. After U.S. shoots down object over Alaska, Republicans tell Biden, "I told you so." That's the Fox one. Well, sure.
Okay. I don't see how it's relevant, but
Great. You did it. I mean, I you know what I don't want? I don't want them shooting those objects down over my house.
right. Yeah. Or having them fire back and then,
Oh, Joseph. Yeah, I mean that also makes sense. Yeah, I mean all these things are terrible to make and terrible for the environment. And I'm a bad person for buying them, but I'm gonna be buried with them. I'm gonna be buried with all my plastic.
Did I show you that meme of from Toy Story? It was like somebody did like a comic strip of Woody and Buzz and Andy was like in the first like panel of from Toy Story, the little boy.
Oh, right, the kid that owns the toys.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, okay.
He said something like, "Oh, we're gonna be together forever." And then like the next panel over, it's like he's like a skeleton in his coffin, and Buddy and Buzz and Woody are in there, and they're like scared.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Keep them all mint on card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I look forward to finding out what it is, but I think it's probably another surveillance balloon. It's probably just hadn't reached the altitude yet, and they're like, all right, they're sending them over, shoot them down before they get over land, and people go crazy about it. Because as soon as it's over land, it's going to land on something.
It's going to land on something, yeah. So, well, we're almost at the 2-hour mark, Tom. So, it's been fun.
Thank you for chatting with me.
Appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Really, really glad we were able to do this. And everybody that's been with us, watching, commenting, asking questions, being silly along with us, thank you. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah.
I have episodes lined up for the next, all the way through the end of March. So stay tuned. We're going to have quite a few guests, some familiar, some new, coming on. Next week is going to be more of a Jurassic focused episode.
Oh,
we're going to have Collect Jurassic. Tentatively, we're going to have Jurassic Park podcast and other folks from the Jurassic collecting community. So should be fun. So I hope if you're into Jurassic, or even if you're not, come on here and have fun. And, that would be great. And we'll see you very soon. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy your Friday night. Have fun. Enjoy your collectibles. Hope you'll find out what the UFO thing is.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'll just be here swinging this thing around.
Oh, God, it's amazing. I don't blame you. Good night, all.
All right. Good night, everybody. Take care. May the force be with you. Be safe. Enjoy Cantina Chatter podcast. Last couple episodes. Retrospective for 30th anniversary line. Next episode next week. And then episode 4 week after that. And I'll have a new video coming this week too for the 501st collection display. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.